Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi Fahim. How are you?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am feeling very good after the movie.
Can you speak up to the phone a bit closer to the phone so that we can hear your voice much more clearly?
Understandable.
All right. So we do a first round review of the movie we just watched just now, which is Predator: Badlands. Right. So, apakah perasaan anda? What is your feeling about the movie? We are wearing the red hat first.
Okay, so personally, I feel really intrigued into the upcoming series if there is a continuation for the Predator Badlands, because it's actually my first Predator movie, if I have to speak truthfully. And I wasn't expecting much from the movie. I was expecting it to be pretty alright, but it was really good. It met my expectation by a long shot, and I'm pretty satisfied with how the movie ended. It is really interesting on how they will continue the story onwards after that plot hole. But overall, I would rate it an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Okay. Okay, you feel satisfied about the movie then? Okay, now we are just talking about emotions, perasaan aja. Next we go to Amirul. What's your perasaan? What's your feeling, emotion? Yeah, that be a bit hot now.
To be honest, I don't have any strong feeling about the movie. It's pretty alright, pretty entertaining. So, in my opinion, I think it's a pretty good movie if you want to watch it. If you're feeling bored or something. But I think that's all.
Since we are rating the movie out of 10, what would you give?
I think I will give it 6.5 out of 10.
6.5 out of 10. Okay, very precise. Very precise. There's a decimal point. Okay, 6.5 out of 10. Right, thank you, Amirul. All right, Sharia, what's your feeling about the movie?
The movie is decent and has good action, choreography, and you have good graphics, good CGI. Overall, the plot is decent. It could be better. Could organize the continuation of the scenes from the alien or the monsters and the predator, and give more emotion behind the storyline. So overall, decent movie, and it has some good parts, good values that the Predator has, that before this, the previous Predator films, the Predator didn't portray. So overall, the movie is a 7.4 out of 10.
Another decimal point, 7.4. How do you feel coming out from the movie?
Feel that is decent.
Listen.
Could be better, but it's watchable.
Right, thank you. We go for the second round. So the first round is where we wear our red hat. Red hat is the emotion hat, right? So the next round is where we put on our black hat. Black hat, which is what's wrong with the movie? What's not right about the movie? Right? Can we go with you first, Amirul?
Since I'm basically the one that rated it so low. Okay, so in my opinion, there's something wrong with the movie. For example, there's little emotional value in the movie. But if I want to watch a meaningful movie, I surely want it to play with my emotion. But in this movie, it's just if I could portray my feelings that when watching that movie, it's just flat.
Black.
There's not super exciting. Maybe the fight scene for some people they find it entertaining and find it thrilling, but in my opinion, it's just flat. So that's one of the things that they need to fix in the next movie. So if there are any other thing that I want to point out is the moral value inside the movie. Yes, the moral value they're trying to portray is pretty good.
Yes,
But
yes.
they are better together than trying to solve it on their own. But the problem is, if they want to make the moral value more stand out, they need to make the movie more interesting. Like it's not just someone that trying so hard just to portray the moral value. They need to make the movie interesting so that people when they watch it, they feel interested and they feel like they want to they want to contoh lah. Mencontohi mereka, tapi that's the thing. The movie is, my opinion, is just entertaining, and that's it. It's not that interesting, but it's not that bad. So I think the movie is pretty mid.
So it's not that bad. It's not that good. Mediocre. Mediocre. Right. Okay. Right. Thank you, Amirul. That's where we evaluate the movie from a black hat point of view. What's wrong about the movie? Want to say something? Okay, we go for Fahim. What's wrong with the movie? What don't you like about the movie or something?
In my personal opinion, I feel that the Predator series is supposed to be this big horror trilogy where humans are getting killed, but in this version, of course, it goes against that. What should I say? The general expectations, and in my opinion, I would think that it's better to make something else that's not named the Predator, and more of it the Predator Badlands, because it just doesn't connect with the older movies, and the emotional value in the movie is, well, it's pretty hard to say because there's quite literally not that much emotional scene. It's only at the beginning of the movie, and I would say that it just never built that emotional, how do I say, graph of making others feel sad, and that's a pretty downside for me, because at the end of the movie you just feel bland. You don't feel the emotional value being, how do I say this, being put into you, being glued to you. It's more of, you learn the thing, and then in another minute you would probably discard the emotional, moral, or whatever value you learned from the movie. And to add on, the characters were pretty quick to switch their emotions, such as one of the main female cast. They were sad about something, and then the next second it took quite literally less than 3 to 2 minutes to quickly change her mind about being sad and just somehow recovered from that sadness or whatever they were feeling. And I was really confused as to why that were to happen, because in a reality point of view, in a realistic point of view, you would not do something like that so fast, because it would take time to just engrave what you're feeling. Yeah, that's all for me.
It's very, very, very insightful. I think that. Right. Thank you, Fahim. We're still wearing the black hat, which is a hat that evaluates the negative aspect of the movie. So, Shahrial, your take on what's wrong with the movie? What's the negative side of this movie?
Same as what Fahim and Amirul said. There's not enough strong emotion portrayed in the movie. And they didn't show the original style of the Predator.
Yeah.
And they didn't bring in the humans, which originally the Predator was part of, and instead it was synthetic robots. Even if there was that is counted as still a form of humans, they don't show the battle or the conflict between two opposing sides. Instead, it's about a single one predator or one person from the tribe of many predators that has his own story. Instead of a whole group of predators and what their main purpose should be. So the lack of introduction to many different sides in the movie brings the value of it down.
Alright, so now that is will be the negatives or the negative points of the movies, right? How about putting on a yellow hat, the bright side, the positive side of the movie? What's good about this movie?
The action sequences, most of it are captivating for the audience. Some parts are a bit slow, some parts fast, but that is one of the main strong suits of the movie. Besides that, the way they plot the action, the build-up of the action at the end of the movie when the Predator attacks the other side of the synthetic robots. That fight scene was plotted and panned out quite well. And how Predator works together with the nature, the environments,
Yes.
to use it as a tool to guide him to be one and fight against the antagonist is a good thing to be added.
So Predator uses the environment as weapons.
Yes.
Okay. Next we go to Fahim. You put on your yellow hat. What's yellow hat is the bright side of things. What would be the positive side of this movie, Predator Badlands?
Well, to start off, we have many moral values, such as siblings must always stick to each other even if something bad happens to one another, and we shouldn't. Well, that's a lot. This just quite literally, possibly 5 moral values I learned from this movie, and I would say that's a positive thing because because most movies only focus on 1, 2, or 3 moral values, but there's somehow I found 5, which is interesting. But still, I would say I wish they had. This might sound negative, but I do wish that they had focused onto one of the moral values instead of splitting it up to 5. But the action scenes were great. The emotional scenes, even though it was only for a moment, it was still pretty touching, and it had a good ending. Yeah, and I don't have much to say because the movie's really bland, but it's enjoyable to watch as your first Predator movie, and I would probably recommend it because it isn't that brutal. Yeah, it's not that brutal. Yeah, it was alright. Yeah.
Thank you, Fahim. Very, very deep analysis. Amiro, what's the bright side? The putting on your yellow hat.
From my perspective,
Bright side. What is a good thing? What do you like about this movie?
from my perspective, the movie is pretty good if you want to bust up the dark, if you want to spend your time with something entertaining. So in my opinion, the movie is pretty awesome. If you might say it. It can help you may find more value that you need to simulate in your life. And overall, the movie is pretty simple. If you don't want any deep or any complex movie, you can watch this movie because because not everyone want to watch movie that's so complex, so deep, and you need to watch the previous movie just to understand what they're talking about. So this movie is pretty good because it's simple, entertaining, and it doesn't need you to complete other series just to enjoy this movie. So that's basically it.
Thank you. Okay, Ramiro, very good point there. Sharia, you already told us about what's good about it. You want to add something else? All right, Fahim. What do you like about this movie?
As I've stated, I love the CGI. I love the action scenes. I love the complexity of the characters. Not the complexity, more of the simplicity, and it's much easier to understand from a children's point of view, in my opinion. And it was a fun watch.
Just to wrap up, how would you improve the movie? How would you like this if you were to given the power to improve the movie, to redesign the movie, how would you improve it? How you redo it?
I would honestly add a plot twist right around the end of the movie, and to just make the movie a lot more darker, because that's the whole ongoing theme of the trilogy.
So that is the green hat. How do we grow? How do you grow an idea? How do you grow a movie? Right. Okay. Amira, put it on the green hat. The green hat is the hat that grows things. So how do you grow this movie? How do you add value to this movie? How would you improve this movie to make it better, more fun, more energetic, whatever?
Well, if I'm the director, I want my movie to be meaningful, to be remembered, and to be a hot topic for a long time. So, in my opinion, I want to make the movie more complex and maybe more something to add, because there's some movie that the duration is not even that long, but when we're watching it, it feels so long because there are so many things that we found meaningful. So that's one thing that I want to add, and other thing maybe I want movie to have more dominant villain, because on the movie I found that the main villain in that movie is not even that serious kind of threat, because she just came out, she's a bad guy, and then she bring out a big robot just to fight. So I want to make the main villain more sinister, more creepy, and more evil. And the last thing, I want to make the main character more, what do we say, doesn't look like someone that you want to mess with, because in that movie, especially when he first get into Jannah, if I remember the plan name, he was struggling against a plan. You know what? The main villain just come to the planet and just obliterating all the plan, which the main character struggled with earlier. And that's not even the bad point. The bad point is, even though the main character struggle against the plan, he still have that ego. So sometimes people may think the main character is a bit annoying, man. So I want to make my main character a bit more stronger, so that you see him. He's strong, not a weak person. But the problem is the thing he's facing is much more stronger than he. For example, one of the thing that he's hunting, if I remember correctly, the name is Callus. Yeah, the Callus creature is very strong. Like they have a super regenerative, so that would be a problem for the main character. So the thing is, I don't want the main character to struggle on his own against something that he probably would say that he want to catch, he want to blah blah blah. So that would kill the feeling when you see the main character finally reaching to the goal that he want. So if I want to make the fight scene against the Callus, I would make the main character basically not punching back to the monster. So that's pretty it.
Right, thank you, Amiro. You are a very good movie critic. Very good. Very good. Very good. Yeah, very detailed.
I
Yeah.
can't do it.
Yeah.
I was sleeping too.
Okay, Sharia, how would you build on this movie, make it better, improve? If you're the director, you're a filmmaker, how would you improve it?
Honestly, just
As the negatives mentioned in the movie, the lack of portraying the vision, the style of the Predator, the original, the classic, or what the Predator is meant to be, what the Yautja clan is supposed to portray, didn't stand out that much. Instead, it's just bunch of aliens, bunch of monsters, creatures battling against a group of synthetics. What would be better is if the humans and the Predator had a battle, had a conflict that shows struggle in between two sides that will eventually maybe lead to peace between both sides, and the Predator or Dak, his name is, can set peace with his other clans, his other family members.
Yeah.
So Predator and the humans can live in harmony instead of just showing synthetics which the humans send to have interaction with, to study the environment of Jenna, whatever extraterrestrial world there is. And another thing is the lack of complexity in overcoming the struggle. As in, all the Predator simply did is, after he faced the disappointment that his friend, the synthetic robot, failed to meet his requirements as his tool, and the antagonist saw opportunity to take over. He suddenly just escaped with the help of lack of enough complexity to the fight scene. He just straight away escaped, then gathered something and attacked everything straight away. There's not enough plot to that. So they need to build the story more on that.
How he prepares for the battle.
No more research on that. And same for the human side. Explain a bit more about them, go deeper in, and show their strengths and not just their weaponry when they attack or when the Predator attacks and they fight back. You don't want to see just the fight scene, you want to see the strategy, the way of the humans handling the extraterrestrial world, which they have to prepare to make sure they're safe and they can resist whatever is there to come.
Excellent. Alright, this is real, Ivan, this is above Uncle's expectation as far as the movie review, movie appreciation, movie critique is concerned. This is what your thoughts, your insights, what you have shared just now is really good. So I thought this is a good movie review of not just about you know what you like about it, what you do not like about it, you know the hero, that kind of thing. But you go deep into the plot, you go deep into the essence of it, the moral side of it, how to make it better. So this is the general format that we like to use. Basically, it's from Edward de Bono. Edward de Bono has 6 thinking hats, right? So we are using 4 or 5 thinking hats, which is number 1, red hat, emotion. What do we feel about it? Number 2, the black hat. What do we not like about it? Number the running the hat. Then number 3, the yellow hat. What's the bright side of it? And then the 4th is the green hat. Edward de Bono have 6 hats, by the way. The other one is white hat. White hat is the hat of facts. Just facts about this movie. This movie is about how long is the movie. Who are the characters? There are facts. It's not something we argue so much, but just the facts, right? And then there's the blue hat. Blue hat is what Uncle is doing right now, taking turns, giving everyone a chance to speak, making sure the time is fairly distributed. That's the blue hat. Basically, this is 16 minutes. So that will be our first pilot movie critique. Hari Jumaat, 28 November 2025. So we have officially documented our first movie critique club of Tonsei. Right? So thank you everyone. Right? We will continue with the next movie, inshallah, soon. Right? We have got some Buku movies coming up. So thank you.